Welcome back to Old Pennyworth Coin Hunters and Treasure Seekers. Today we are diving deep into one of the most exciting and shocking topics in the American rare coin market, the top 5 American coins worth millions of dollars hiding in plain sight. Yes, the very coins that may be sitting inside your pocket change, your old family collection, forgotten drawers, piggy banks, and dusty storage boxes could hold life-changing value. Many people ignore these coins every single day, not realizing they are holding historic treasures that collectors are. Have you ever looked at a quarter and wondered if it could be worth more than 25 cents? Most people wouldn't think twice about a 1977 quarter. They spend it, toss it into a coin jar, or leave it forgotten in a drawer. But what if one of those ordinary-looking quarters could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars? Imagine finding a coin in your spare change that collectors have spent years searching for. It sounds impossible, but stories like this happen more often than you might think. Hidden among millions of ordinary quarters are rare eras, unusual varieties, and extraordinary specimens that have stunned the coin collecting world. But here's where things get interesting. The most valuable examples often don't look dramatically different from common coins. One tiny detail could change everything. What happened next shocked collectors when certain 1977 D Washington quarters began appearing with unusual characteristics that transformed them from everyday pocket change into sought-after treasures. Stay with me until the end, because the value may leave you speechless, and after hearing this story, you may never look at a quarter the same way again. The 1977 D Washington quarter was produced at the Denver Mint during a fascinating period in American coinage history. The United States economy was growing, inflation was affecting daily life, and billions of coins were needed to support commerce across the nation. The Denver Mint worked around the clock producing quarters for circulation. Millions upon millions entered cash registers, vending machines, parking meters, and pockets across America. To most people, they were simply money. But decades later, collectors would discover that some examples possessed characteristics that made them far more valuable than their face value. The Washington quarter itself has a rich history dating back to 1932, when it was introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1977, the design had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The Denver Mint identified its production with a small D mint mark located on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. The obverse of the coin features the familiar left-facing portrait of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the image captures the nation's first president with dignity and strength. Above his head appears liberty. The motto "In God We Trust" is positioned to the left, while the date 1977 appears below. The small D mint mark serves as an important identifier for collectors. Most people never notice this, but the sharpness of Washington's hair details can reveal valuable information about strike quality and overall condition. Turn the coin over and you'll find the iconic heraldic eagle design. The eagle stands proudly with wings spread, perched above a bundle of arrows symbolizing strength and readiness. Olive branches below represent peace. United States of America appears around the top edge, while quarter dollar is inscribed below. The reverse design remained a beloved feature of the Washington Quarter series for decades and continues to attract collector interest today. The standard 1977 D Washington Quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. It is composed of a pure copper core sandwiched between layers of copper-nickel-clad metal. This composition replaced silver in regular circulation quarters beginning in 1965. This tiny detail could change everything because many collectors mistakenly believe all older quarters contain silver. In reality, a normal 1977 D quarter contains no silver at all. But here's where things get interesting. A small number of quarters from this era are believed to have been accidentally struck on silver planchets intended for special collector coins. These mistakes are incredibly rare. Because silver planchets weigh differently and have distinctive appearances, collectors carefully inspect 1977 quarters looking for clues that could indicate one of these extraordinary mint errors. What happened next shocked collectors when unusual examples surfaced weighing more than standard clad quarters. Professional authentication confirmed that a few modern quarters had indeed been struck on silver planchets. Suddenly, a coin that most people ignored became the center of intense numismatic attention. These accidental silver strikes remain among the most exciting possibilities in modern coin collecting. The excitement doesn't end there. The 1977 D quarter is also known for a variety of collectible mint errors. Off-center strikes remain among the most popular. These occur when the coin blank shifts before being struck, leaving part of the design missing. Depending on the percentage off-center and whether the date remains visible, values can rise dramatically. Collectors also search for double strikes, clipped planchets, broodstruck, and die cracks. Die cracks occur when minting dies develop fractures after repeated use. These cracks appear as raised lines on the coin's surface and can create fascinating patterns. Some become highly collectible due to their unusual appearance. Another area of interest involves doubled die characteristics. While major doubled dies are uncommon for the 1977 D quarter, minor examples have been identified. Careful examination of lettering and design elements under magnification may reveal subtle doubling that attracts collector attention. Identifying a valuable 1977 D quarter requires patience and attention to detail. Begin by confirming the date and mint mark. Next, weigh the coin carefully. A standard example should weigh approximately 5.67 grams. Significant deviations could indicate an unusual planchet error. Examine the coin's edge as well. Normal clad quarters display a visible cup-culk stripe along the edge. A quarter lacking that stripe deserves closer inspection. Most people never notice this, but condition often matters more than rarity. Millions of 1977 D quarters circulated heavily and accumulated decades of wear. Coins that survive with original mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks are surprisingly difficult to find. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services frequently command substantial premiums. Auction records demonstrate just how strong demand can be. Ordinary circulated examples are generally worth face value. However, mint state examples in exceptional grades have sold for hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. Rare mint errors often achieve even stronger prices. Off-center strikes, silver planchet errors, and dramatic die varieties continue attracting enthusiastic bidding whenever they appear. Collector demand remains strong because modern era coins offer the thrill of discovery. Unlike many classic rarities that are already locked away in advanced collections. Unusual 1977 D quarters can still occasionally be found in circulation, old collections, and estate holdings. That possibility keeps treasure hunters searching. Counterfeit examples present another challenge. Some individuals alter coins to imitate valuable errors or silver strikes. Always verify weight, composition, and design details carefully. Professional authentication is essential before assuming a coin is a rare silver planchet error. Many apparent treasures turn out to be altered coins, but genuine examples can be worth remarkable sums. This tiny detail could change everything. A simple digital scale, a magnifying glass, and careful observation can reveal clues that most people overlook. The difference between an ordinary quarter and a valuable collectible may be hidden in a fraction of a gram, a subtle design anomaly, or an unusual edge appearance. Now we arrive at the moment every collector has been waiting for. The highest value 1977 D Washington quarters are not the heavily worn examples found in pocket change. The true prizes are extraordinary mint errors, potential silver planchet strikes, and elite condition specimens certified among the finest known. Some have sold for thousands of dollars, shocking people who never imagined a modern quarter could achieve such values. The value may leave you speechless because these coins began life as ordinary 25-cent pieces. That possibility is exactly why collectors continue searching through pocket change, coin jars, inherited collections, bank rolls, and forgotten boxes hidden away for decades. Somewhere, right now, a valuable 1977 D quarter may be waiting to be discovered. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than anyone expects. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the 1977 D Washington quarter, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another treasure hunting adventure. Tell us in the comments whether you've ever found an unusual quarter and what year it was. Your next discovery could be worth far more than 25 cents. But don't go anywhere yet. The next coin on our list has produced one of the most surprising mint mistakes in American numismatic history. Hidden varieties, mysterious errors, and astonishing auction prices have turned it into a collector legend. And trust me, the story behind that coin is even more unbelievable than the one you've just heard. Next up. Have you ever picked up an old penny and wondered if it could secretly be worth a small fortune? Imagine reaching into a dusty coin jar, opening an inherited coin album, or sorting through a box of forgotten pocket change, only to discover that one tiny copper coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more to the right collector. It sounds like something out of a treasure hunting movie, but stories like this happen every year. Hidden among ordinary-looking pennies are coins that collectors desperately search for, and one of those fascinating coins is the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it appears ordinary. It isn't made of gold. It isn't covered in diamonds. It was worth just 1 cent when it left the mint. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1950 pennies have become prized collectibles because of their condition, rare varieties, and surprising mint errors. One tiny detail could change everything. What happened next shocked collectors when certain examples began selling for prices that seemed impossible for a humble penny. Stay with me until the end, because the value may leave you speechless, and you may never look at an old wheat penny the same way again. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was struck during a period of tremendous growth in America. The country was recovering from World War II and entering a decade of prosperity. Businesses were expanding, families were purchasing homes, and the demand for coinage was enormous. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents that year to support the nation's growing economy. Because these coins were struck in Philadelphia, they carried no mint mark beneath the date, creating what collectors call the no mint mark variety. At the time, nobody considered these pennies special. They moved through cash registers, piggy banks, lunch counters, and pockets across the country. Millions were spent without a second thought. Yet decades later, collectors would discover that some of these seemingly common coins possessed characteristics that made them far more valuable than their face value. The Lincoln wheat penny itself already carried a rich legacy by 1950. Introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it became the first circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became one of the most beloved pieces of American coinage. By 1950, it had already become an iconic symbol of everyday American life. Obverse of the 1950 wheat penny features Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head appears the motto "In God We Trust." The word liberty sits to the left of Lincoln, while the date 1950 appears on the right. Since this coin was struck at Philadelphia, there is no mint mark beneath the date. Most people never notice this, but the sharpness of Lincoln's hair details can reveal a great deal about the coin's strike quality and overall condition. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the classic wheat penny reverse. Two elegant wheat stalks frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words appears EPLUBUSUNUM. The design is simple, timeless, and instantly recognizable. On well-preserved examples, the wheat lines remain crisp and detailed, creating a visual appeal that collectors greatly admire. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Its composition consists of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This copper composition gives the coin its warm reddish appearance when newly struck. However, over time, exposure to air and handling causes many examples to darken. This tiny detail could change everything because color plays a major role in determining value. Professional grading services classify copper coins into red, red-brown, and brown categories. A fully red 1950 wheat penny that retains its original mint color can be worth dramatically more than a brown example in similar condition. Collectors pay significant premiums for original red surfaces because they are much more difficult to find after decades of agging. But here's where things get interesting. Although the 1950 wheat penny is not considered a major key date, collectors constantly search for rare varieties and mint errors associated with the issue. One of the most exciting areas involves doubled die characteristics. Certain examples exhibit subtle doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. While not as dramatic as some famous doubled dies from other years, these varieties continue attracting collector interest. Another area of fascination involves die cracks and die breaks. During the minting process, dies endure tremendous pressure. Over time, small fractures can develop. These fractures appear as raised lines on the finished coin and sometimes create unusual patterns. Collectors actively seek dramatic die crack examples because they represent unique moments in the mint's production history. Off-center strikes also command strong attention whenever they appear. These errors occur when the blank coin planchet shifts before being struck. Depending on the severity of the off-center strike and whether the date remains visible, values can increase significantly. Error collectors often compete aggressively for attractive examples. What happened next shocked collectors when unusual clipped planchet and broad strike errors surfaced. Clipped planchets occur when part of the metal blank is missing before striking, while broad strikes happen when the collar fails to contain the coin during production. These dramatic errors transform ordinary cents into collectible curiosities that often sell for impressive premiums. Identifying a valuable 1950 no-mint mark wheat penny begins with confirming the date and verifying the absence of a mint mark. Next, inspect the coin carefully under magnification. Look for doubling, die cracks, unusual strike characteristics, and signs of minting errors. Then evaluate the coin's color and condition. Sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear significantly increase desirability. Most people never notice this, but some of the most valuable 1950 wheat pennies are not rare because of errors. Instead, they are valuable because they survived in extraordinary condition. Millions entered circulation and experienced years of wear. Finding a coin that remains virtually untouched after more than 7 decades is surprisingly difficult. These elite condition examples often command remarkable prices. Auction records demonstrate just how strong demand can be. Common circulated examples typically carry modest premiums above face value. However, high-grade certified red examples frequently sell for hundreds of dollars. The finest known specimens have achieved several $1,000s at major auctions, especially when certified by respected grading services. Rare errors and varieties can push values even higher. Collector demand remains exceptionally strong because the Lincoln Wheat Cent series is one of the most popular coin series in American numismatics. Beginners enjoy searching for wheat pennies because they are affordable and historically significant. Advanced collectors pursue top-grade examples and rare varieties. The 1950 issue occupies an interesting position because it offers opportunities for both groups. Counterfeit and altered examples present another challenge. Some individuals artificially recolor brown coins to imitate more valuable red examples. Others attempt to modify surfaces to enhance appearance. Careful examination of the coin's weight, texture, and color consistency is essential. Professional authentication can provide valuable peace of mind when evaluating potentially important discoveries. This tiny detail could change everything. Original mint luster often appears as a natural cartwheel effect when the coin is tilted under light. Artificially altered coins rarely duplicate this appearance convincingly. Learning to recognize genuine surfaces can make the difference between finding a treasure and overpaying for an altered coin. Now comes the moment every collector has been waiting for. The highest value 1950 no-mint mark wheat pennies are not necessarily the rarest by mintage. The true stars are elite mint state red examples, dramatic mint errors, and exceptional varieties. Some top-certified specimens have sold for thousands of dollars, stunning people who never imagined that a 1-cent coin could command such prices. The value may leave you speechless because these coins began life as ordinary pocket change. That possibility is exactly why collectors continue searching through coin jars, inherited collections, old albums, estate sales, flea markets, and forgotten boxes hidden away in attics. Somewhere, right now, a valuable 1950 wheat penny may be waiting to be discovered. Every old penny tells a story, and some stories turn out to be worth far more than anyone expected. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another treasure hunting adventure. Tell us in the comments whether you've ever found a wheat penny and what year it was. Your next discovery could be worth far more than a single cent. But don't go anywhere yet. The next coin on our list has become legendary among collectors for its rare varieties, astonishing auction records, and hidden features that most people overlook. And trust me, the story behind that coin is even more incredible than the one you've just heard. Next up, coin. Have you ever wondered if a simple 5-cent coin could be worth more than a stack of $100 bills? Imagine reaching into an old coin jar inherited from a grandparent, flipping through a forgotten coin album, or sorting through loose change from decades ago and discovering a nickel that collectors have been chasing for generations. It sounds unbelievable, but that's exactly why the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel has become one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatics. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary nickel. Most people would spend it without hesitation. But here's where things get interesting. This isn't an ordinary nickel at all. Hidden within its metallic composition is a remarkable wartime story, a connection to World War II, and the possibility of finding rare errors worth astonishing amounts of money. Most people never notice this, but one small mint mark and a few tiny details can separate an everyday coin from a valuable collector's treasure. What happened next shocked collectors when certain examples began appearing at auctions with price tags reaching thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars. Stay with me until the end because the value may leave you speechless and you may never look at an old nickel the same way again. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel belongs to a special group of coins known as war nickels. During World War II, nickel metal was desperately needed for military equipment and armor production. The United States government faced a difficult challenge. The nation still needed 5-cent coins for everyday commerce, but the traditional nickel composition could no longer be used. The solution was extraordinary. Beginning in late 1942 and continuing through 1945, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the Jefferson nickel. Instead of the traditional alloy, these wartime nickels were struck using 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. That means the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel actually contains real silver. This tiny detail could change everything because many people mistakenly assume all nickels are made of the same material. In reality, the silver content alone gives the coin intrinsic value beyond its face value, making it highly desirable among collectors and precious metal enthusiasts alike. The coin's obverse features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag. Jefferson faces left with a calm and dignified expression. Above his portrait appears the word liberty, while the date 1944 is positioned to the right. The design appears simple at first glance, but experienced collectors carefully inspect every detail because subtle differences can have a major impact on value. Turn the coin over, and you'll see Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. The architectural details are beautifully rendered, showcasing the elegance of one of America's most historic residences. Above the building appears Monticello, while below are the inscriptions 5 cents and United States of America. But here's where things get interesting. Unlike earlier Jefferson nickels, the wartime issues feature a large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. For the 1944 Philadelphia issue, that mint mark is a bold and unmistakable P. Most people never notice this, but the large P mint mark is historically significant. Before 1942, Philadelphia coins generally carried no mint mark. The wartime nickel became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a prominent Philadelphia mint mark. That single letter immediately identifies the coin as a wartime silver issue. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel weighs approximately 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. Because of its silver content, it often develops distinctive toning over time. Shades of blue, gold, violet, and green can appear on well-preserved examples. Collectors often pay substantial premiums for naturally toned coins because each one develops a unique appearance that cannot be duplicated. But here's where things get interesting. Although millions of 1944 P nickels were struck, several rare eras and varieties have transformed certain examples into major collector prizes. Among the most sought after are doubled dies. These errors occur when a coin die receives multiple impressions during production, creating visible doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. What happened next shocked collectors when specialists began identifying examples with dramatic doubling and unusual die characteristics. Certain doubled die varieties display noticeable separation in inscriptions and design details. These coins quickly became favorites among era collectors and continue to command strong premiums today. Another highly collectible category involves repunched mint marks. During the era, mint marks were punched into dies by hand. Occasionally, a mint mark would be impressed more than once, creating visible doubling or shifting. Careful examination under magnification can reveal these fascinating varieties. Collectors also actively search for off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, and lamination errors. Off-center strikes occur when the blank coin shifts before striking. Clip planchets result from improperly cut blanks. Die cracks create raised lines across the coin's surface. Each error tells a unique story about what happened inside the mint during production. How do you identify a valuable 1944 P. Jefferson nickel? The first step is simple. Look above Monticello on the reverse for the large P mint mark. Verify the date is 1944. Next, examine the coin's overall condition. Sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear dramatically increase value. Then inspect the coin for errors, doubling, unusual strike characteristics, and attractive natural toning. Most people never notice this, but one of the most important diagnostic features involves the steps of Monticello. Advanced collectors place enormous importance on what are known as full steps examples. These are coins where the horizontal steps leading to Monticello remain fully visible and uninterrupted. Because the design was difficult to strike sharply, full steps examples are surprisingly rare. This tiny detail could change everything. A common worn example might sell for only a modest amount above its silver value, but a sharply struck full steps specimen in high mint state condition can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The difference often comes down to details that many people overlook completely. Auction records reveal just how valuable these coins can become. Ordinary circulated examples remain affordable and popular among collectors. High-grade mint state examples regularly sell for significant premiums. Full-step specimens certified by professional grading services often achieve several $1,000s at auction. Rare varieties and dramatic mint errors can push values even higher. Collector demand remains exceptionally strong because the 1944 P. War nickel combines several appealing qualities. It contains silver, connects directly to World War II history, offers numerous collectible varieties, and remains accessible to beginners. Few coins manage to combine history, affordability, and treasure hunting excitement as effectively as the wartime Jefferson nickel. Counterfeits and altered examples also deserve attention. Some individuals artificially tone coins to imitate valuable natural coloration. Others alter surfaces to improve appearance. Most people never notice this, but genuine wartime silver nickels have distinctive characteristics that experienced collectors can recognize. Weight, strike quality, mint mark style, and surface texture all play important roles in authentication. Now we arrive at the moment every collector has been waiting for. The highest value 1944 P. Jefferson nickels are not the average examples sitting in coin jars across America. The true treasures are extraordinary full-step specimens, rare doubled dies, dramatic mint errors, and beautifully preserved coins with exceptional eye appeal. Some elite examples have sold for well into the five-figure range at major auctions. The value may leave you speechless because these coins were originally worth only 5 cents. Imagine that for a moment. A coin that once purchased a piece of candy could now be worth enough to fund a dream vacation, pay important bills, or become the centerpiece of a serious coin collection. That possibility is exactly why collectors continue searching through old collections, inherited albums, estate sales, flea markets, and forgotten boxes hidden away in attics. If you own old nickels, now is the time to check them. Look for the date 1944, turn the coin over and search for that large P mint mark above Monticello. Examine the condition carefully. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. One tiny detail could change everything. If you enjoyed discovering the secrets of the 1944 P. Jefferson War nickel, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another hidden treasure story. Tell us in the comments whether you've ever found a silver war nickel in your collection. Your next discovery could be worth far more than you ever imagined. But don't go anywhere just yet. The next coin on our list has a mysterious era, a fascinating historical connection, and auction prices that have stunned even veteran collectors. And trust me, what you're about to learn next may be even more unbelievable than the incredible story of the 1944 P. War nickel. Next up, coin. Imagine reaching into a forgotten coin jar and pulling out a Kennedy $50 that most people would barely notice. It sits there in your hand, heavy, impressive, and seemingly ordinary. Maybe it came from your grandfather's collection. Maybe it has been hidden inside an old dresser drawer for decades. Maybe it arrived as change years ago and was simply tossed aside. But what if that coin carried a secret that collectors have been chasing for years? What if one tiny detail could transform a 50-cent piece into a coin worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars? It sounds unbelievable, but stories exactly like this continue to unfold throughout the coin collecting world. The 1972 D. Kennedy $50 is one of those coins that often gets overlooked, ignored, and underestimated. Yet hidden among millions of ordinary examples are remarkable survivors, rare errors, and fascinating varieties that have stunned collectors and auction bidders alike. But here's where things get interesting. The most valuable examples don't always announce themselves. Most people never notice this, but a small detail, a tiny error, or an exceptional state of preservation can completely change a coin's destiny. Stay with me until the very end because the value may leave you speechless. The story of the 1972 D. Kennedy $50 begins with one of the most emotional chapters in American coinage history. Following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, the United States moved quickly to honor the beloved president with a new $50. The first Kennedy $50 were released in 1964 and immediately became national treasures. Americans lined up outside banks, eager to own a piece of history. Many saved them as keepsakes rather than spending them. By 1972, the Kennedy $50 had already become an iconic American coin. The Denver Mint struck millions of examples bearing the D Mint mark. Unlike the earlier silver issues that collectors eagerly hoarded, the 1972 D coin was produced primarily for circulation using a copper-nickel-clad composition. As a result, countless examples entered commerce, moving through cash registers, banks, and pockets across the country. At first glance, the coin appears familiar and straightforward. The obverse features the stunning portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Kennedy faces left with a calm yet determined expression. Above his portrait appears Liberty. The date 1972 sits below, while In God We Trust is positioned beneath the neck truncation. To the left of the date, collectors can find the small D Mint mark identifying production at the Denver Mint. Turn the coin over, and the reverse reveals one of the most intricate designs ever used on a circulating American coin. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the reverse showcases the presidential seal. A majestic eagle spreads its wings while clutching arrows and an olive branch. Surrounding the eagle are 50 stars representing the states. United States of America arches above, while $50 appears below. The level of detail is extraordinary, and on sharply struck examples, the feathers, stars, and shield elements remain remarkably crisp. The 1972 D. Kennedy $50 weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. Unlike the silver Kennedy half-dollars of earlier years, the standard 1972 D issue consists of a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel. Most people never notice this, but the edge reveals a copper-colored stripe, an easy way to distinguish it from earlier silver versions. But here's where things get interesting. Although millions were produced, collectors are not searching for ordinary worn examples. They are hunting for something far more elusive: exceptional condition, rare errors, unusual varieties. These are the characteristics that separate an ordinary half-dollar from a prized collectible. One of the most fascinating areas involves doubled dies. During die production, slight misalignments occasionally occurred, creating visible doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. Careful examination under magnification can reveal these intriguing varieties. What happened next shocked collectors when certain doubled features began attracting significant attention among specialists. Suddenly, coins once ignored became highly desirable. Another exciting category involves die cracks and die breaks. The enormous pressure used during minting sometimes caused dies to fracture. These fractures left raised lines and unusual features on the finished coins. Some examples display dramatic cracks stretching across large portions of the design. Era collectors actively pursue these pieces because each one tells a unique story from the mint's production floor. Off-center strikes are among the most visually dramatic errors. These occur when a blank planchet shifts before being struck. The resulting coin displays part of the design missing while still retaining enough detail to identify the date and mint mark. Depending on the severity and eye appeal, these errors can command impressive premiums. Collectors also search for clipped planchets, broad strikes, and strike-through errors. Strike-through errors occur when foreign material becomes trapped between the die and planchet during minting. The result can create unusual patterns, missing design elements, or mysterious impressions that immediately capture collector attention. How can you identify a potentially valuable 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar? The first step is confirming the date and mint mark. Next, inspect the coin's condition carefully. Look for sharp details in Kennedy's hair, strong lettering, and minimal wear. Coins that retain original mint luster are especially desirable. Then examine the surfaces for signs of doubling, die cracks, off-center striking, or other mint errors. Most people never notice this, but condition often matters more than rarity. Millions of 1972 D half-dollars circulated extensively. Finding an example that survived in pristine mint state condition is surprisingly difficult. High-grade specimens certified by professional grading services can be worth dramatically more than average examples. Auction results demonstrate just how strong demand can become. Circulated examples generally remain affordable. However, top-grade certified specimens have sold for hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. Rare errors frequently command even stronger prices. Collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for unique pieces that stand out from the crowd. Collector demand remains remarkably strong because Kennedy half-dollars occupy a special place in American history. The connection to President Kennedy, combined with the coin's large size and attractive design, creates enduring appeal. New collectors often begin their journey with Kennedy half-dollars, while advanced specialists pursue elite condition examples and unusual varieties. This tiny detail could change everything. Many people assume valuable coins must be extremely old. The 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar proves otherwise. Sometimes value comes from condition, rarity within a grade, or extraordinary minting errors rather than age alone. That reality keeps collectors searching through rolls, estate collections, and forgotten accumulations every single day. Counterfeit examples and altered coins also deserve attention. Unscrupulous individuals occasionally modify coins to imitate valuable errors. Others attempt to clean or artificially enhance surfaces. Experienced collectors know that originality matters. Natural surfaces, proper weight, and authentic mint characteristics are essential when evaluating any potentially valuable coin. Now we arrive at the moment every treasure hunter has been waiting for. The highest value 1972 D Kennedy half-dollars are not ordinary circulation pieces. The true prizes are elite mint state survivors with exceptional eye appeal, dramatic mint errors, and rare varieties that have captured the imagination of collectors. Some have sold for thousands of dollars, proving that remarkable value can still exist within a modern coin that many people overlook. The value may leave you speechless because somewhere right now, hidden in a coin album, bankroll, estate collection, or forgotten drawer, there could be a 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar waiting to be discovered. Every collector dreams of finding that one coin that changes everything. Every old half-dollar deserves a second look. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another hidden treasure story. Tell us in the comments whether you've ever found a Kennedy half-dollar in circulation. You never know when your next discovery could become the coin everyone wishes they had found first. But don't go anywhere yet. The next coin on our list contains a mystery that has puzzled collectors for decades. Hidden varieties, astonishing errors, and breathtaking auction prices have transformed it into a legend of American numismatics. And trust me, what you're about to see next may be even more incredible than the remarkable story of the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar.